Good morning, everyone. I look tired this morning. We socialized last night, not like crazy socialized, but like normal human beings see other people, which I don't generally do at this time of year because I just want to keep working till it's dark. And I guess I'm tired now. Anyway, sorry about that. We are going to do a very quick casual garden stroll. Only quick, not because there's not a ton of things to show you, but because I have so many things I want to get done today that I really got to get rolling. A couple of things. We're on a different camera. I had to switch back to the action camera because we had a little issue yesterday, and Darwin ran into the tripod, and well, I lost a lens. Lost a lens in the process. I had to order a new one. I will send that one back, and I hope they can fix it, and then at least that way I have a spare. I can sell that one, whatever. So there's that. Sorry about that. What else? Oh, I'm also going to make this kind of short because I'm actually not sure if the audio is going to connect properly to this. I didn't have time to test it before this. I don't want to record a whole long video and then find out that the audio is not fully working. Because, so just a little, background. Once I get a camera all set up, with the audio, I leave everything plugged into it because I rarely use that camera for anything other than making videos. I've got other cameras I use for taking photos and stuff. So, I had to switch everything over, and it's been a while since I've done that. So hopefully, and this is the first time I've used this audio on this camera. Fingers crossed everything works. I do have a little bit of viewer mail, but I'm actually not going to share it today. I'm going to save that till a day when I have a little bit more time. To just sort of enjoy one of these, because I feel like this is going to be just a tad bit rushed today. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. So we did get a bat house. Came yesterday. I'm going to get it stained today, and I think we found a place to mount it. It holds up to 300 bats. And it's incredibly tiny. It's amazing how little room bats want or need. So we'll see. Here's a little Ringo Rose action for you. Clematis alba luxurians starting to come up. Basically all of my group 3 clematis died all the way back to the ground this year. Nothing left on any stems. I think Prince Charming, who is on the Limelight hydrangea, I think he had some stem stuff left. This is no problem. That's why I love the group 3s. Right. Are you eating? Sorry, Darwin is with us. We have germination. Please let the lawn get better. It's got to get better from here, right? I'm just trying to find little things that I missed showing you last weekend, and other things that are, well, we didn't talk about the woods at all last weekend, but some very alert person mentioned it. So look at how high the ferns are now. So now all of the skunk cabbage is still out there. You just can't see any of it anymore. And these ferns we'll do the annual thing where I turn around and see how tall they are compared to me. Let's see where we're at here. Okay. Well, I'm 5'2", so they're at 5 feet now. This edge always gets really, really shabby. So I try to come in here and cut out these weeds, but at some point you just have to kind of avert your eyes. I haven't even opened up the greenhouse for today. My goal for today, so the plant pile has gotten out of control. My goal for today is to get as many plants out of the way as possible, because I still have things in the basement that I want to get into that greenhouse so I can get them hardened off, so I can get them in the ground, because I would like that greenhouse gone in a few weeks here. This bed has been cleaned out. I showed you last week how just cleaning out the Virginia bluebells. There was plants I had totally forgotten about. There's ferns and goat's beard hiding back there. I did plant, this is something new that I planted. This is a Gatsby glow ball oak leaf hydrangea. You guys, I have terrible luck with oak leaf hydrangeas. I think they want a slightly more acidic soil than I can offer them. I'm hoping that one I can just, I'll give it a little aluminum sulfate. And I'm hoping over there to be more protected from the deer. That's the other thing. For whatever reason, the deer adore my oak leaf hydrangeas. They don't even eat most of my other hydrangeas, but boy, that oak leaf. Check out this. God, is it looking good. Okay, Clematis Purpurea compacta. It's a purple leaf clematis that is compact, and look, we've got flower buds starting here. But the foliage color on this is so good. This is with that new trellis that I bought, which I just love. It really, I don't ever remember it looking this good. I think this is the best it's ever looked. It's so good. I have still not gotten in this bed to clean out. This is on the agenda for today. Again, I still think I can whip out the cleaning out project part of this in like half an hour. Here's what we need to talk about. Who's the jerk who planted that hosta right on the edge so they're like it's halfway into the path? That jerk would be me. So I need to pick that giant hosta up, move it in, because it's so dumb. It's like halfway over the path. These are the Glow Girl spireas that were planted somewhere else, and I moved them over here. I don't know when, but holy smokes, are they happy here. This is probably my favorite spirea, Glow Girl. I also like Blue Kazoo, but I have some growing in kind of in a spot over here. They are not good. I'm gonna have to cut them back. Okay, let's keep her moving. The probably Jack Frost Brunnera been in full bloom for almost 2 weeks now. So pretty. It's actually, this is a little native geranium. I pull it out sometimes, but here it looks great. It's a beautiful little combo, that lavender with the blue. I mean, just stunning. Of course, no, this camera is not the camera that focuses up close, which is why I don't like to use it very often. If you can look down there, this always looks like the land of the giants. That is that butterbur that we've been watching, Japanese Petasites. Fairly amazing. The grass through here is, I think all of that is just Champia Goldtail. Looking really good. Here's Rory's garden over here. Also looking much better this year. Last year we really had a big issue with, we had a big issue last year with jumping worms in here. Look at all that thistle I get to pull though. So there's a big wide area there. So there is a lot of Coreopsis there. I think that will fill that in. But I got some room for some other grasses in there maybe. Okay, anyway. We must get to the vegetable garden today because there's something to show you over here. Here is this, this is Blue Kazoo. Now these were 3 that I moved over here. They were probably abused, but you can see they're really sparse. I'm gonna chop them. Chop them and see what happens, right? Here's the Acer Shirazawanum Orium. It's going more yellow now, because it was quite chartreuse, going more yellow now. We'll just stop over here, because this is just like on the list, on the can't miss list. So I did plant my first container yesterday. I planted it twice, because I didn't like the way it turned out the first time. Here, we might actually see this better from this side, because it's so backlit, but here's the apple, the espalier apple. It actually does look better on this side of the fence. But beautiful apple blossoms on it. So, so, so pretty. One of the jobs for today, first, look at all the Canada thistle in the lawn. I mean, and those get cut regularly. One of the jobs for today is a good amount of time in the vegetable garden. Because A, there's stuff that I need to get in the ground if we're going to be having vegetables this year. And B, we're coming up to when it's going to look the best, because we're not quite there, and I promise I will show you guys. We won't miss this, but check out the Royal Raindrops Espalier crab apples, which are, you know, like a day away from peak bloom. Yeah, our crab apples are just starting to flower here, guys. Look, I mean, holy crap, they're so pretty. I just love them. In fact, okay guys, this is YouTubing in action. I am going to take a picture of these that we're going to use as the thumbnail for this video while we are making a video. Don't you feel like you're part of the action now? Great compost pile picture there, Erin. Let's see, we got to get the compost out of there. Let's go this way. We'll crop out the weeds later. We got to go wide because here. Maybe we'll go like this. There, that'll be better. Go wide because it always ends up too square. Okay, there. Sorry guys. So once these few that aren't fully open, this will be even better. Oh, hey, I've had a lot of questions about the columnar apples that I started in pots, and here they are. They got moved out here. They're gonna get moved out of these pots today into the ground. I decided that, originally I wanted them on the patio, and now I don't want them on the patio anymore. So if they're just going to be out here, they might as well grow on the ground. So basically where the pots are is where they're going to go. They're hanging in there. There's just not been a lot of growth. They haven't done much, and they haven't produced an apple, and I think it's because they're in pots and a little bit neglected, quite frankly. So those are going to get transplanted into the ground, but they're still here. They're still doing fine. So this is the other one over here. Garlic looking good. Snapdragon is looking kind of a funny color. Sort of seems to be the theme with a lot of my plants this year. These are kind of a funny color. Here's the little boss clematis. I actually stuck a couple of seedlings in this one. This one, look, there's seedlings growing in. I've never had clematis reseed. I realize it's not uncommon at all, but I realize it's not uncommon at all for that to happen. But they love, of course, seeding in the gravel. So every once in a while, I dig one up, and I stuck two more in here because this one has not recovered from the great repotting or soil raising fiasco of last year. It's frustrating to me that there are parts of this garden that look really terrible right now. Let's avert our eyes so that we don't all get frustrated. One thing, this is going to be, I will share a little secret later. It's not a secret. Don't get excited about it. It's just something I'm going to plant. Anyway, Jack in the Pulpit. So this grows. This is a native here, and it grows all over this garden. So it's starting to flower here, which is, such a wild and cool looking plant. Path needs attention. We've discussed that. Aurea. I showed this last year, and Zizia Aurea. Golden Alexanders. Just starting to really come into flower. Makes amazing cut flower bouquet. So I will definitely cut some. Hopefully I'll have something else to add in with them. But it's a really pretty, and it lasts a long time in a vase. So that's nice. But this is the area we were working in the last video you saw. You guys, I don't think I told you this. Maybe I did. I planted a bunch of annuals. So this is where I was working and adding in some of those perennials around the Baby Joe pieweed. And I planted a bunch of annuals in here, including here, because I figured, well, those are going to need a little time to fill in. Yeah, I planted the wrong thing. I meant to plant Diablo Cufia, and I planted Silene Sabella Carmine, which I have a space for somewhere else. So I need to come in, pull out the annuals, and put the new ones in. Just so silly. The daffodil foliage, this is the part of the daffodil foliage that will be the death of me. The garden looks like such a friggin' mess, pardon me, with this daffodil foliage. And these just stopped blooming. They are nowhere near starting to yellow. And this is the part where I'm like, why? This is the only part where I just hate them. Because the rest of the garden is up and going. And to sit there and look at this, this is why, it's a really good idea if you're going to plant out your bulb foliage to make sure that you're planting somewhere where it can just tuck in and disappear. So, Solomon's seal, certainly loving its life right here. I think I moved that over here last year, or maybe even planted a new one. Some of the soil kind of washed down my hill here, so I have to pull some of it back. This is in this new garden that I'm just walking through. Lots of jewelweed. Oh, let's talk about things Erin planted that Erin shouldn't plant. Well, first of all, I was thinking today that I've showed you this part of the garden extensively because it's one of the few that actually is looking really good. This year was the only time we will ever have those videos and those pictures because these two maples here came from Isley and they leafed out way ahead because they're coming from Oregon. Someone called me on this. Oregon. Someone will tell me. I appreciate it. Anyway, they leafed out early compared to everything else. Like you can see this one over here. That's Acer. That's not a Shirazawa, is it? Acer. I forget. Acanthifolium. Anyway, I forget the genus. No, the species, not the genus. Anyway, again, trying to get through a video fast, and all I do is stumble on my words. Sorry, guys. Anyway, these two trees, this is Jack Frost, which is red right now, but will turn to green, and this is origami. They will never be leafed out with all the things that they were leafed out with again in the future. So it was really kind of an interesting year. The maidenhair ferns back here, which have been here since we got here, thank goodness. I love them. Are all open now. You know, they need to be rescued from a little bit of lily of the valley back there. I have planted two things in this area that are on the Erin should not plant this list. The first one right here is strawberry begonia. You guys can all run over to Jim Putnam's channel and tell him this is his fault, his and Ram's fault. He shows this plant all the time. It's growing at the Giberson Garden, which he has a huge playlist for, and it's a very inspirational garden. This company that I bought this from, which was called, ironically, it was called Putnam Hill Nursery. Ironically, because Jim Putnam, but he has nothing to do with it that I'm aware of anyway. Anyway, the plants came really nice. They listed as a zone 5. I have never seen it anywhere else listed as zone 5. So this is going to be a little protected spot here. We're going to try it in here and see if it can kind of creep around in here. And then I planted more hardy begonias, which have not been super hardy here. This is Alba. This is the white one. I got some more of those. I planted a bunch of them last year. I'm pretty sure they all died. I have not seen them yet, but they're super late to emerge, so they have not fully given up hope on those. So this part of the garden is, now we're sort of transitioning. I would say we're probably getting a little crowded in here, and a good gardener would come in here and maybe move some of the Solomon seal around so that it's not like crowding the shredded umbrella plant quite so much. There is a good gardener lurking here, but that good gardener is too busy getting things in the ground right now to worry about that sort of thing. That can happen later. I don't know what hosta this is, you guys. I think this might... maybe I found it last year. I thought I transplanted this one there. But last year, this one was huge too. Do you remember this? I'm in a video from like mid-June last year. I mean, it is absolutely immense. I think it's Blue Angel, and it's from... I think I transplanted it over here from when I divided. I think it's Blue Angel. We've planted some new stuff in here. I planted Bleeding Hearts false sunflower. There's 3 of them. You can only see one here, which is gets big. Actually, everything in here gets big, that's what I'm looking for. I moved out a little bit of the monkshood. Well, actually, I just transplanted it to the back corner here, but this is all monkshood right here. Love it. It's just kind of taken over the garden a little bit. Transplanted that in the back a little bit. Monkshood is quite poisonous to dogs. It's called wolfsbane. So I usually plant it in the middle of a garden bed because, we got guys like him poking around. I also put in some Rudbeckia triloba seedlings. We'll see how those go. This is the hot border, by the way. So I'd like to put in some hot stuff. I found a crocosmia at the local hardware store. I also have some I'm started from bulbs. Pop those in there. I do love crocosmia. It's always questionably hardy there. The flowerful hydrangeas that I planted last year are really leafing out really, really nicely. I'm really, really happy with them. I just planted that lady's mantle in there, 2 weeks ago. It's already starting to fill out. Yay, lady's mantle. Okay, should I show you the plant stash? Last night I actually had to come out here and just organize the plant stash. Keep in mind, plant stash continues over there. Shrubs had to get moved over here because I just needed that to make some room on the patio. It was easier to water them here. The vast majority of those are going in the ground today. Oh, there is something I can't really... We'll have to avert our eyes, go this way a little bit. That's the plant stash. There's really not that many perennials. A lot of these things, hopefully, again, we're going to plant today. Part of the problem is some of these plants are super cool and I want to do videos with them. But also, as you guys know, doing a video just slows down everything. So, hopefully we'll get there. Well, I think I can show you this. Why not? I did start, so we've got a plan for this front border this year. And you'll see what kind of the main feature piece is. But I did plant up, this is a whole front row of Mercardonia and just Sweet Alyssum, just the little 4-packs that you buy, which I'm hoping should fill into this white and yellow, which will contrast nicely, what is going here. So I did get that planted, which felt good. So that's sort of the way this bed works is that's the front border. Then I've got a moment of repetition of repeating a really prominent element, which you'll see. And then we also have these clematis growing in here. This is Hudson River clematis, which I let scramble, but I let it scramble after it gets a little height to it. So I do have a very short stake on them. I let them go up a little, and then they'll tip over, and they'll start scrambling from there. If they scramble right from the ground, they will cover up my ground cover. So this way they will sort of scramble nicely, kind of intermingle with the plants that are going to be here. This is an allium. That's a seedling of an allium I have growing over there that I got from a plant sale at a very cool house several years ago. I think it's a Welsh onion. That's all I can tell you about it. But it is edible. I know that. We don't eat it. It's really pretty flowers on it. So behind this, so all this space behind these things and in front of this row of tiny tough stuff hydrangeas, this is all Dahlia area. It doesn't look like there's a lot, but I assure you, many dahlias will be in there. The poppies are looking really good. In fact, I need to come in. I just keep coming in and thinning to make some room for them. They will be very tiny, if not. And I thin, and I think I've thinned enough. And then I always need to go in and thin more. There are a few buds forming on some of the tiny tough stuff hydrangeas. These are just the ones that didn't have any winter dieback on them. The other ones will bloom later, so I don't expect the flowering to be as good as it has been in the past because it was just such a tough winter. Do you guys remember how I pruned the Kinsley's Ghost honeysuckle into this tree form? I'm loving it so far. It is shooting up like tons of new sprouts from the bottom. So in order to keep this, we're going to have to keep those out of there. But I'm loving the way this is looking. Obviously, it's going to put on a ton of growth, and we're going to have to see how it looks once it does that. But I'm really happy I did that. I planted the Chamaecyparis pisciferia curly tops right here. It won't get that big that fast, so I think this is kind of a nice little spot. Also an evergreen element, kind of needed there. I did cut the smoke bush back big time this winter because it was just really poorly shaped. I mean, it was really almost close to getting ripped out. So that's it coming back. And then this clematis growing up it here, which of course will envelop it soon, is Princess Diana. Oh, I did put drip tubing in here. Oh, you guys, oh shoot. You'll have to go back in the video and watch. I stained the raised beds in the vegetable garden a few weeks ago, and they look so much better. I bought a paint sprayer, $30 paint sprayer on Amazon that actually Gardner and Love recommended. And it went so quick, it took me like an hour. And I put that project off for 2 years because I didn't feel like doing it. And it was awesome. Okay, so go back and look at how nice this raised beds look. I put drip irrigation in here. I mentioned that I was probably going to do that. Did not take me long. I made a closed loop system here. And I have, I'll show you when we go back around to the other side where the hose outlet is. This will just connect to a hose, so I will only be watering when I need to. Of course, I will cover it up with... I'm going to cover it up, obviously, with mulch. I just have it on top of the mulch for now because I'm going to wait till I get the dahlias planted in here, and then this whole garden will get mulched. Okay, let's make our way back around this way. There is a little columbine that seeded itself here ages ago, and I allow it to stay in this little spot, even though it doesn't match with what else is going on, because, come on, how can you not? I did have a few of my favorite Salvia argentias come back, even in a tough winter. It's more drainage than it is cold, I think, with them. So I have a few more to pop in the ground there. I need to clean up some of that allium foliage because that, as you know, drives me nuts. I still haven't put out, like, we've got our glass things in the garden, but I haven't put them out anywhere yet. Okay, here is where I have to get one more stake to hold that down. But here is where the hose will connect. So my hope is that that's all hidden. By plants, obviously. And so I can just plug the hose into that and then walk away. I'll probably get a timer and stick a timer on there too or something, just so that I don't forget about it some night, which I do. Over here, so I'm going to show you this. This is Black Stockings Thalictrum, which is a fabulous Thalictrum. And obviously it's just starting to put flower buds on, but I think this is a beautiful, beautiful plant. It has nice dark stems. As long as it gets enough water, it looks really good standing for a long time. But usually I end up chopping it all the way back after flowering. And then it flushes out with just fresh foliage. It won't flower again, but it flushes out with fresh foliage. That's Orange Fields Persicaria there. That's getting to be a nice big clump. That's good. Okay, this is a lot of time on this garden. I'm just going to see if there's anything else that I wanted to show you before we wrap up this shorty video. Oh yeah, I do want to show you the dogwoods. Okay, this is Rosy Teacups. And if you remember last year, this thing bloomed like crazy. It just was fully covered in pink blooms, bloomed so long. I think this is going to be kind of an off year. I think it bloomed so hard last year that I think it's not going to bloom as much this year, because I look around, you can see the you can see the flowers starting. So the flower is actually the little bit in the center here, and it's actually these calyxes around it that will turn pink. But I don't see that on every. Maybe it's just put on a lot of growth last year, because I think it flowers only on the old growth. So maybe all of this is new growth. But see, I don't see any. There's no flowers on that stem. Let's see here. Yeah, none here. Let's go up a little. Yeah, I just don't see a lot of flowers on it this year. So I don't expect this to be nearly as good of a show as last year. But it did put on, I look at this and I see a lot of, room between the branches there. I think it put on a lot of growth last year. Speaking of growth, check out these columnar Norway spruces. This is, what is it? Picea, is it Abies? Is that Norway spruce? Okay, now I can't remember the name. It's the columnar one. It'll come to me. Anyway, look at all the fresh growth on these things. Really, really fluffy. I tell you what. So that is a Norway spruce right there too. As is that, and as is that. The biggest trees on this property are Norway spruces. They clearly love our climate. So that's great, because obviously, we bought these. Okay, as you know, planted this up. It would have been 2 years ago. So these have been in the ground for about 2 years now. This one right here, we planted as a 7-footer, and these other two we planted as 6-footers. I would say, you can see how much growth is at the top of these things. And clearly we're at, 12 feet. That's pretty amazing. Interesting things happening in this shrub border. The clethra, this is all clethra in front of me here. I can't remember if it's always been this slow to leaf out. So like for instance, the one right there, although that one probably gets the more, I don't think it gets more sun. How could it? That one has a lot of foliage on it. The rest of these all have some foliage on it, but like nothing's going gangbusters here. But I keep doing scratch tests and all of the wood on them is green. So I think they're just being super late to leaf out. Okay, well this one has no sign of anything on it. Let's do a little scratch test on this guy. Well, that's green too. So I don't know. Here's the clematis that I moved. So I put this willow cloche over it just to protect it from rabbits or whatever. Well, now of course it's grown up through it, so I can't remove that more, which actually I think is fine. What do I care? So all the foliage is coming up through that, which is, I mean, that's great. We don't want it cut off at the bottom by some ne'er-do-well. So that transplant went very, very well. That's the one that I transplanted from, oh, look at this. I knew there was another one over here. You guys, I planted another one over here and I forgot about it. What is it? Burning Love. So this Cornus moss is going to have 2 clematis on it. Fortunately, they're all in the red family. Anyway, this is the one that I transplanted that had been here. This is a Shirazawanum. This is Acer Shirazawanum Morning Light? Moonrise. This has just leafed out just in the past week, and look how beautiful. This will go to regular old green in no time, but gorgeous. And this plant, gosh, there's a video on the channel of me planting this tiny. I ordered it mail order. A couple of years ago, it lost its main center. Look at how pretty it's looking now. I sort of love that we're starting to fill in the plants around this path a little bit more to sort of obscure we don't need to look at our garage, all the time. To sort of obscure the garage and obscure the pathway a little bit. I do have to deal with the blue globe spruce here. I'm going to we're going to nip back some of these tips because we really, what we don't need is any more growth, even though the new growth is so stinking pretty. Okay. Just want to point out, I need to rescue it a little bit. I was hoping this bloodroot foliage would die back a little sooner, but there's Eclipse hydrangea. Came back just fine. Oh my gosh, I'm running around like John Lord now. If you watch John Lord on YouTube, you'll get the reference. He's like frenetic in the garden. This is what I wanted to show you over here. This is green sleeves dogwood. In case you haven't noticed, I have a massive thing for flowering dogwoods. I absolutely adore them. This is green sleeves. This was one of the ones we planted as part of the Isley load. And so this is how these flowering dogwoods work. They start really small and it looks like little leaves, and then these bracts just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they change colors. So green sleeves starts with this beautiful chartreusey kind of color on them. And again, this is the actual flower, but this is the part we think of as the flower. Anyway, so those will turn bright white, but they're all just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's really beautiful. Also, it's pretty typical for flowering dogwoods to grow up before they grow out. So you saw like the rosy teacups, how wide that's getting. This will do that in time too, but first they grow, they get height on them, and then as they mature, they start getting wider. This garden's actually, it's not as bad of a mess as it was. Here's the quince. This quince does not get as much water as it wants. And I will be coming in here with compost for this bed if I have some left. I'm sorry, it's last on the list. But the flowering quince, this is the double take peach flowering quince. Isn't it pretty? I love those flowering quinces. I want more of them, but they want more moisture than I'm giving it here. This is a white nepeta, and I was just I'm going to look it up while we're sitting here. admire this for a second while I look this up on my phone, because I had forgotten what the name of this one was. I planted it last year, but I went down to Northwind the other day, and they have it down there, and so I took a picture of it. Snowflake. Nepeta snowflake. I didn't think I was going to like a white nepeta, but A, it blooms super early, and B, I love it. I love it. I think it's so... I love it so much. Looks really good. This is cat's pajamas, I think, right here. I mean, I think it looks good with other nepetas. I think it looks good with that, that's one of those dark salvias from Proven Winners, and I'm very sorry I can't remember the name of it right now. There's also phlox in here, and then there's also some things that aren't supposed to be here. Lots of alliums, too. Okay. Oh, here, I'll show you this crabapple. This is Rita's crabapple. This is the crabapple we planted for our dog, Rita, who was also a Newfoundland, and she was notable because she was hysterical and a total comedian, but also she had white paws and a white chest. And I think this is prairie fire. But look, this one's it's gonna all open up soon too. I know it's wild that our crabapples are just starting to open now. I think we're going to mount, bat experts weigh in here. I think we're going to mount the crabapple, Jesus, sorry, the bat house on this tree right here, like up there. So I read that they have to be a minimum of 15 feet tall, but taller is better, and they need to be south facing, and we're going to stain it black. So, with the same stain that I used on the vegetable beds, actually. So... weigh in, folks. Will that make, if you were a bat, would that make you want to move there from my house? Please say yes. Oh, see, there's so much good looking right now that it's hard to stop making this video. This is the tricolor beech leafing out. You know, a lot of people say that they don't see a lot of the tricolor on them. There's a whole thing about that. My understanding is that, I forget what it is. I don't even want to say it because I might be wrong. I don't want to give misinformation right here, and I will look it up. But there's something to do with age or stress. I don't know. Where sometimes you get more of that white color coming out. Doesn't matter to me. Love it. It always looks best, I think. You probably can't see it in this, but it looks best when appreciated from below because you get that backlit and you get to see the variegation on it more. If I want to get anything else done today, I better stop right there. Because it just takes so long. Now that I pull this out of the camera, it's going to take forever to like download and then upload and export and the whole thing. Have a great day in your garden. Thank you for watching, everybody. Sorry for the frenetic pace. Oh, one other thing. The video I posted yesterday, which was about, it's the new path lights. A lot of people asked to see them at night. Yep, great idea. Haven't been outside when they're on at night, if you can believe that. I will do that. And also, there was weird little boxes. There was a graphic that wasn't working. Yeah, so that's right. There were supposed to be arrows there, and they worked fine in my editing software, and then I exported it, and they didn't work. And I was pretty PO'd about that because that was a graphics package that I purchased. And I try not to, there's a lot of free stuff that you can get for editing. The paid ones almost always work better. And so I'm like, I'm going to spring for it and buy that because I think that'd be helpful in videos to have a better arrow than the one that I've been using, which is free. This is what we think about, you guys. And then it didn't work. So I was a little miffed because I didn't want to take that video down. There's a little YouTube background information. So first of all, if you take a video down, you lose all the views that are on it. And if you put the same video back up again, it will not show that video to other people. Some people might stumble upon it, but it won't go out of its way to show you that if you've already seen that. And then if you put a video up and that video starts performing a lot worse than the other videos that you have, which would happen if a lot of people had already watched it and won't see it again, then YouTube really, really tags you and really doesn't show it to anybody. And then it's not just that video that affects. Then it affects all your future videos because it YouTube kind of works on like a train chugging along. So if you have a video that does really well, a lot of times you will keep that momentum going because YouTube says, oh, look at this. People really love these videos. If you get a dog in there, which we do sometimes, a lot lately actually, it takes a while to recover from that. So I didn't want to pull that video down, fix it, and then put it back up again because it just would have caused problems. And most of you people, well, everyone is very understanding. I mean, some people point out, which I appreciate it because that's how I realized it was in there, because I did not see that because when I watched it, it was fine. So I do appreciate the heads up on it. But that's why I didn't fix it. So anyway, holy crap. For a person who's making a short video, this is not short. I wrote to the developer of that particular bit of software. And actually, I have to say, I kind of went after him a little bit. I was quite miffed. And I'm like, here, like, if I'm going to pay for this, it's one thing if it's free, but if I'm paying for this, it better freaking work. Well, it turns out he's actually seems to be very responsive and very nice. And I think I might have found a bug in it, and he's working really hard to figure it. He's happy I sent it to him, and we're working through the bug, and hopefully he can get that sorted. That's a long way to say there was weird boxes in the last video. Have a great day in your gardens, everyone. Get lots done, because that's what I'm going to do. See you soon. Bye, everybody.